just for giggles. Okay. Okay, so we have
Music,
music,
theme,
the Maltese
and
Falcon,
under.
originally broadcast in July 1946, and go for it.
Music, theme, in and under.
The House of Squib presents Academy Award.
Music, theme continues, then in background.
Every week, Squib brings you Hollywood's finest, the great picture plays, the great actors and actresses, techniques and skills chosen from the honor roll of those who have won or been nominated for the famous Golden Oscar of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences.
Music, theme, up and out.
And now, E.R. Squib and Sons, manufacturing chemists of the medical profession since 1858, bring you the distinguished star, Mr. Humphrey Bogart, who as Best Actor of the Year was nominated for the 1943 Academy Award. You will also hear Miss Mary Astor, who won the 1941 Academy Award as Best Supporting Actress of the Year, and Sidney Greenstreet, who was nominated for the 1941 Academy Award as Best Supporting Actor. Tonight, Mr. Bogart, Miss Astor, and Mr. Greenstreet will play the famous roles they created for the screen in The Maltese Falcon, the thrilling mystery which was nominated as Best Production of the Year for the 1941 Academy Award.
Music, then in background.
My name is Spade, Sam Spade, license number 357896, issued by the Police Department of San Francisco. Occupation, private detective, sometimes known as Private Eye. My files in the case of the Maltese Falcon are closed, but I got the Maltese Falcon. I got it and some dough. My partner got murdered, and a very slick chick went up for life. I'll tell you about it. This
Music?
slick dame comes to me. Oh,
Never mind. It's just music. Go ahead.
this slick dame comes to me one day, gives me a song and dance about her sister and a guy called Floyd Thursby. She wants us to get her sister back before her mother and father get in from Hawaii. I put my partner Miles Archer on the case. That night, he gets murdered, and so does this guy Thursby.
Footsteps.
I go around to the apartment where the dame is living, and one called Brigid O'Shaughnessy. She had something I seemed to go for.
Music is out.
Oh, Mr. Spade, come in.
I have come in.
Yes, so you have. Mr. Spade, tell me, am I to blame for last night?
You warned us that Thursby was dangerous. Of course you lied to us about your sister and all that, but that doesn't count. We didn't believe you.
Oh, help me, Mr. Spade. I need help so badly. I've no right to ask you, but I do ask you. Help me.
You won't need much of anybody's help. You're good. You're awful good. It's chiefly your eyes, I think. And that throb you get in your voice when you say things like, "Help me, Mr. Spade."
I deserve that. But, oh, the lie was in the way. I said it, and not at all in what I said.
If I'm going to help you, I got to have some sort of a line on your Floyd Thursby.
I met him in the Orient. We came here from Hong Kong last week.
Did he kill Archer?
Yes, certainly.
Picked a nice sort of playmate.
Only that sort could have helped me if he had been loyal.
How bad a hole are you in, actually?
As bad as could be.
Physical danger?
I'm not heroic. I don't think there's anything worse than death.
Then it's that.
That as surely as we're sitting here, unless you help me.
Who killed Thursby? Your enemies or his?
I don't know. His, I suppose. I'm afraid I don't know.
Who are these enemies?
Well, there's a small, dark man with white teeth and a smooth, dangerous fat man.
Oh, this is hopeless. Well, how much money have you got?
I've got $500 left.
Give it to me.
Footsteps away, a drawer opens, then closes. The footsteps return. Spade counts the money.
There's only 400 here.
I had to keep some to live on.
Okay, all right. I'll be back as soon as I can. You needn't come to the door with me. I can let myself out.
Music, a bridge, then in background.
I went by the office then and found a little guy with a very white teeth waiting for me. His name was Joel Cairo. He was Greek.
Music out. The door shuts.
Mr. Spade, I'm trying to recover an ornament that has been, shall we say, misled. I thought and hoped you could assist me.
Uh-huh.
The ornament is a statuette, the black figure of a bird. I am prepared to pay the sum of $5,000 for its recovery, and no questions asked.
5,000 is a lot of money. It's a very interesting figure.
You will put your hands together back of your neck, Mr. Spade.
Huh? Oh, sure.
I shall shoot you if you try to stop me, Mr. Spade, but I must search your office.
You won't find anything but a pair of worn-out rubbers, a half pint of rum, and a pack of chewing gum.
We shall see. Please stand up.
The chair squeaks as Spade rises. Footsteps.
So,
Sure, this way.
no, the other way.
Sure.
Spade punches Cairo, knocks him down.
I'll take the gun, Mr. Cairo. Now get up.
Cairo rises.
I am very slow at things like that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm still prepared to pay $5,000 for the return of the figure. Do you have it, Mr. Spade?
No.
If it is not here, why did you just risk serious injury to prevent my searching for it?
Well, I should sit around and let people come in and stick me up?
You wish some assurance of my sincerity? Retainer?
I might.
Say, $100?
Puts out some cash.
You better make it 200.
And he changes hands.
Thanks. Your first guess was that I had the bird. What's your second guess?
That you know where it is or where you can get it.
You're not hiring me to murder or to do burglary, but to get back the figure in some lawful way? Say from a dame with red hair? Or a smooth, dangerous fat man?
Also, you know? You must beware of them. They would stop at nothing. May I have my pistol now?
Yeah, sure. I've forgotten it.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Spade, you will kindly pack your hands behind your neck.
What the?
Don't move, Mr. Spade. This time I might shoot. I insist on searching your office.
Sure, go ahead.
Music, a brief bridge, then in background.
I finally got rid of the Greek and started back for Brigid O'Shaughnessy's apartment. Matter of fact, I had a hunch that the Greek was going there himself and started to tail his cab when a sad-faced guy poked something into my back and said,
Accent. Music with accent, then out.
Come on, the fat man wants to see you.
More music with accent, then out.
Here he is, Mr. Gutman, the guy who was talking to the dame and the Greek. Who's Gutman?
Who's Gutman?
Do we have a Gutman?
Denise.
Sorry, I had to unmute. I was waiting. I'm not going to try the English accent.
That's okay.
Mr. Spade.
Mr. Gutman.
We begin well, sir. I distrust a man who talks too much.
I like to talk.
Of course, talking something you can't do judiciously unless you keep in practice.
Yeah.
Now, sir, we'll talk if you like. And I'll tell you right out that I'm a man who likes talking to a man who likes to talk.
Well, we'll talk about the black bird.
Ah, you're the man for me, sir. No beating about the bush, right to the point. Let us talk about the black bird by all means. Mr. Spade, have you any conception of how much money can be got for that black bird?
No.
Well, sir, if I told you half, you'd call me a liar.
No. Not even if I thought so. But you just tell me what it is and I'll figure out the profits.
You mean you don't know what the bird is?
Well, I know what it's supposed to look like. I know the value in human life you people put on it.
Miss O'Shaughnessy didn't tell you what it is, and Cairo didn't either?
He offered me $10,000 for it.
Ha 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 ha, 10,000. And dollars, mind you, not even pounds. They must know what it is, or do they? What is your impression?
I can't tell. They're both lying.
If they don't know, I'm the only one in the whole wide, sweet world who does.
Swell. When you've told me, that'll make two of us.
Mathematically correct, sir. But I don't know for certain that I'm going to tell you.
Oh, don't be foolish. You know what it is, and I know where it is. And I know where it is. That's why I'm here.
Well, sir, where is it?
Don't be silly.
Oh, you see, I must tell you what I know, but you will not tell me what you know. Hardly equitable, sir. No, I don't think we can do business along those lines.
Yeah? Well, I think again and think fast. I can get along without you. And keep that gun cell away from me while you're making up your mind. I'll kill him.
Well, sir, I must say you have a most violent temper.
Well, what are you wasting time for? You got until 5:30, then you're either in or out for keeps.
Music, a bridge, then in background.
3 characters and a black bird. Well, all I knew was my partner was dead and the cops were getting very uncooperative about the whole thing, including who killed Floyd Thursby. I thought I'd better get back to see that O'Shaughnessy dame before it was too late. And sure enough, it almost was.
They came here and took him away.
Took who away? Who?
The police. They wanted to talk to you, too. They took Mr. Cairo with them.
What was he doing here?
He came to talk about the bird.
Yeah. What is this bird? This is a falcon that everybody's all steamed up about.
Suppose I wouldn't tell you anything at all about it. What would you do? Something wild and unpredictable?
Maybe.
Well, it's a black figure, as you know, smooth and shiny of a bird, a hawk or falcon, about 12 inches high.
Well, what makes it so important?
I don't know. They wouldn't tell me. But they promised me £500 if I helped them get it from the man who had it.
Go ahead.
Well, they promised me £500 to help him, and I did. Then we found that Joel Cairo was going to take the falcon and desert Floyd and me, so we did that to Joel first.
You are a liar.
I am a liar. I've always been a liar.
Oh, don't brag about it. Is there any truth at all in that yarn?
Some, not very much.
No. Well, we've got plenty of time. I'll put some coffee on and we'll try again.
Oh, I'm so tired of lying and thinking up lies and not knowing what is a lie and what is the truth. Oh, darling, don't stare at me like that. Come closer, darling.
It is something to do while waiting. Why not?
Oh, kiss me, Sam Spade. Kiss me.
Why not?
Ding dong. Oh, I guess it's a boss.
That happens every time. I'll get it.
Be careful, darling.
Footsteps unlock the door and the door opens.
Okay, come on, you. He wants to see you.
Well, if it isn't the fat man's killer. Hello, paleface. I'm gonna need to bump up today.
Oh, shut up. Gutman's waiting for you.
No kidding. What kept you?
Darling, what does he want?
He wants me. The fat man's been thinking things over.
Music, a brief bridge, in and out.
Well, Mr. Spade, I must apologize for sending for you in this fashion.
Never mind. Let's talk about the bird.
All right, let's. What do you think of the Order of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem?
Crusaders or something, weren't they?
Very good. In 1539, these crusading knights persuaded Emperor Charles V to give them the island of Malta. He made but one condition. They were to pay him each year the tribute of a falcon in acknowledgement that Malta was still under Spain. Follow me?
Yeah.
Have you any conception of the extreme, immeasurable wealth of the order of that time?
Well, I imagine they were pretty well fixed.
They were rolling in wealth, sir. They hit upon the happy thought of sending the emperor for the first year's tribute not an insignificant live bird, but a glorious golden falcon encrusted from head to foot with the finest jewels in their coffers.
Glasses clink,
Allow me to replenish your drink, sir.
drink poured.
Well, what do you think of these knights?
I don't know.
Well, sir, the glorious falcon never reached Spain. Buccaneers raided the galleon. In 1713, the bird showed up in Sicily. In 1840, in Paris. And it had, by that time, acquired a coat of black enamel, looking like nothing but a fairly interesting black statue. In 1923, a Greek dealer found it in an obscure Paris shop. He knew what it was. I heard about it in London and rushed over to buy it. But the Greek was murdered and the falcon gone. That was 23 years ago. For 23 years I've searched for the bird. I traced it to the home of a Russian general, Kemidov, but he wouldn't sell, even though he knew nothing of its value. I was forced to send my agents after it. They got it, sir, but I haven't got it. But I'm going to get it. Sir, how soon are you willing to produce the falcon?
Couple of days.
That is satisfactory. Well, sir, here's a fair bargain and profits large enough for both of us.
What's your idea of a fair bargain?
Shall I say 100,000?
Why not?
What do you say to $250,000?
Oh, then you think the dingus is worth $1 million, huh?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Say, I feel kind of funny, Gutman. I drink.
My dear man, how could you suggest anything so crude?
All right, I have lost my script, so someone will have to carry on
He
with that.
drops his glass, which shatters on the floor.
I
15. 16.
Spade collapses unconscious to the floor.
Ha ha ha! Wilmer!
The door opens, footsteps enter. Yeah? The drink got him, huh?
Put your guns away, Wilmer. You must learn to be subtle in these things, like me.
Out like a light, huh? Well, I owe him something, the louse. He thinks he's tough. Let's see if he can take this. Wilmer kicks Spade 5 times.
That's enough, Wilmer. You've kicked him enough. It'd never do to kill him here. Besides, Wilmer, you know, I hate the sight of blood.
Music to a conclusion, in and out. Studio audience applause.
Announce it. In a moment, you will hear the second part of Academy Award. You yourself uncovered jewels more precious than the rarest gems every time you smile. Your teeth are priceless. Preserve their natural brilliance with creamy smooth squib dental cream. For the polishing agent in this quality dentifrice is one of the safest, softest, yet most effective known to dental science. That's why you can actually see the refreshing difference when you brush your teeth with Squib Dental Cream. And you can taste and feel the refreshing difference too. That's because the delightful flavor of Squib Dental Cream is cool and inviting as a shady bed of mint. Because the refreshing action of Squib Dental Cream leaves your teeth and gums feeling gloriously clean. So, for a brighter smile and a happier mouth, try Squib Dental Cream, one of the great family of Squib products.
Music punctuates the following.
Taste, feel, and see the refreshing difference. Use Squib Dental Cream.
Music, a brief bridge, and then under.
In a moment, you will hear part 2 of the Maltese Falcon. But first, we want to thank Warner Brothers for making this story available. And one thing more, on August 6th, Warner Brothers will celebrate the 26th anniversary of Sound Pictures. Yes, it has been that long since the silent shadows of the screen found a voice. We congratulate Warner Brothers on this historic anniversary.
Music theme, in and under.
And now, the House of Squib presents part 2 of Academy Award, starring Humphrey Bogart in The Maltese Falcon with Mary Astor and Sidney Greenstreet.
Music, bridge, then under. You're mute. You're mute, Marco.
I thought I unmuted it. Okay,
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Start again.
I guess the name of Sam Spade was a cinch for the back page obituaries. I came out of it somehow and managed to get up and stagger out of that apartment. I went around to the hotel where Joe Cairo had a room and made a deal with the house dick to let me search it. All I could do was find a newspaper in the wastebasket, folded back to the steamship news. It was a list of arrivals, and one was marked. It said 8:07 a.m., the La Paloma from Hong Kong. That was good enough for me. I got a cab and rode to the docks. The La Paloma was on fire and burning beautifully. I went back to my office to hold my aching head and think things over when the door opened.
Door
So-
opens.
And a tall guy in a long black overcoat stood there with a package in his hand, making gurgling noises before he fell like a tree.
Man and package fall to the floor.
He should have. He was dead.
Music, an accent, then out. Then the phone rings.
I took a good look at him. He was a maid off at the La Paloma. I unwrapped his package, and there it was. The black bird. The Maltese Falcon.
Music, an accent, then under. Spade picks up the phone.
I grabbed the phone and listened. It was Brigid O'Shaughnessy, and she said she was in trouble. I found her shivering in the dark corner of an office building, and I took her in the Falcon home to my apartment.
Apartment door opens, then closes. Then we hear footsteps.
I put her on the couch and put the Falcon in the icebox, where no one would think to look for anything, including ice. I came back in and switched on the light,
Light switch clicks.
and I found a surprise party waiting to greet me.
Music, out.
Well, sir, we're all here. Now let's sit down and be comfortable and talk.
Sure. Get away from me, Gunsley. You're not gonna frisk me.
Oh, stand still. Shut up.
Put your paw on me and I'm gonna make you use that gun. Ask your boss if he wants me shut up before we talk.
Never mind, Wilmer. You're certainly a most headstrong individual, Mr. Spade. Well, let's be seated.
You too, Cairo. You can put your gun down too.
Nope. You're muted, Kathy.
Sorry. Of course, Mr. Spade. I was only using caution, as it were.
You ready, Gutman? Are you ready to make the payment and take the Falcon off my hands?
Well, as to that, here are $10,000, sir.
Oh, we were talking about more money than this.
Yes, sir, we were, but this is genuine coin of the realm, sir. With $1 of this, you can buy $10 of talk, and besides, there are more of us to be taken care of now.
Well, that may be, but I've got the Falcon.
I should not think it would be necessary to remind you, Mr. Spade, that though you may have the Falcon, yet we certainly have you.
Yes. I'm trying not to let that worry me. We'll come to that money later. There's another thing to be taken care of first. We've got to have a fall guy. The police have to have a victim. Somebody they can stick for those 3 murders.
2. Only 2 murders, Mr. Spade. Thursby undoubtedly killed your partner.
All right, 2. What's the difference does it make? The point is, we've got to give the police, something to...
Gutman?
Come, Mr. Spade. You can't expect us to believe at this late date that you are in the least afraid of the police, or that you're not able to handle...
I'm up to my neck, Gutman. I've got to come through with somebody, a victim, when the time comes. If I don't, I'll be it. Let's give them Gunsel. He actually did shoot Thursby, and the other one, didn't he? Anyway, he's made to order for the part. Let's turn him over to the cops.
Wilmer rises.
Get up on your feet. I've taken all the riding from you I'm going to take. Get up. Shoot it out.
No, Wilmer, don't shoot.
Spade slugs Wilmer, who falls to the floor, unconscious.
There, Gunsel. That'll take care of you.
Footsteps as Wilmer is moved to a sofa.
Put him on the sofa. Sorry, Brigid, but you seem to have recovered.
I'm all right.
Good. Well, gentlemen, there's our fall guy. And now, gentlemen, you agree, or I turn the Falcon and the whole lot of you in.
Mr. Spade, I don't like this. What if we took matters into our own hands and killed you?
You won't. Or you'll never find the Falcon.
True, but there are other ways. We could make you talk.
No, I'd take it and make you kill me, and then you'd end up the same way.
I believe you would, too.
Well?
I've always felt toward Wilmer like a father. But you can have him.
Wow. Let's get the details fixed. Why did he shoot Thursby?
Thursby was Miss O'Shaughnessy's ally. We thought, in disposing of him, we would teach Miss O'Shaughnessy to put her differences with us regarding the Falcon.
And the mate from La Paloma?
That was Miss O'Shaughnessy's fault. Cairo got in touch with me when he saw the notice of the ship's arrival. He remembered that the mate and Miss O'Shaughnessy had been friendly in Hong Kong. He called on this man, but he, with Miss O'Shaughnessy and the bird, slipped through our fingers. We followed them to her apartment, and Wilmer shot the mate as he was coming down the fire escape. He shot him many times, but the man was tough and he did not drop the Falcon. We persuaded Miss O'Shaughnessy to call your office, but unfortunately, she did not call in time to prevent you from meeting the mate and getting the Falcon.
I see.
And now, sir, would it be presumptuous if we asked to see the Falcon?
Okay. It's in my icebox.
Cairo's footsteps to the icebox.
Icebox, I say. You are a character, sir. Yes, very, very clever of you. Very clever.
Icebox door opens.
I've got it!
Icebox door shuts. Footsteps return.
Bring it in here at once.
Unwraps the package.
Here, wrapped in this.
Now, after 23 years.
Unwrapping, stops, a pause.
Ah, it is it. But we'll make sure. Hand me your knife, sir.
Here.
I'll peel off some of this disfiguring enamel.
Knife scrapes the enamel.
It's a fake.
All right, O'Shaughnessy, you've had your little joke. Now tell us about it.
No, Sam, no. That's the one I got from the Russian, I swear.
You bungled it, Gutman, you and your stupid attempt to buy it. The Russian caught on how valuable it was. No wonder we had so little trouble stealing it. You imbecile! You bloated idiot!
Yes, this is the Russian's hand, there's no doubt of it. Well, sir, what do you suggest? Shall we stand here and shed tears and call each other names? Or shall we go to Istanbul and interview our Russian friend?
Go to Istanbul?
For 23 years, I wanted that little item and have been trying to get it. If I must spend another 10 on the quest, well, that will be an added expenditure in time only.
I'll go with you. Wilmer's gone.
Wilmer's gone? So he has. That makes it imperative that we go too. Oh, by the way, sir, I'll trouble you for that envelope containing the $10,000.
I kept my end of the bargain, but I'll settle for $1,000 for expenses.
Thank you. I'll allow you the 1,000.
That'll take care of my time.
Now, sir, we'll say goodbye to you, unless you care to undertake the Istanbul expedition with us. You don't? Oh, that's too bad. Well, sir, the shortest farewells are best. Adieu. And to you, Miss O'Shaughnessy, I leave the rara avis there on the table as a little memento, the Maltese Falcon.
Music, a bridge, then out.
All right, O'Shaughnessy. Talk.
Where shall I begin?
You came by and asked me to have Thursby followed. I put my partner on it. He followed Thursby. He was killed. You must have told Thursby he was being followed.
I told him, yes, but please believe me, Sam. I wouldn't have told him if I thought Floyd Thursby would kill your partner.
Well, Miles hadn't many brains, but he had too many years' experience as a detective to be caught like that by a man he was shadowing up a blind alley with his gun tucked away in his hip and his overcoat buttoned. But he'd gone up there with you, Angel.
Shiver.
He was just dumb enough for that. And then you could have stood as close to him in the dark as you'd liked and put a bullet through him.
Don't talk like that to me, Sam. You know I didn't know.
Oh, stop it. Why did you shoot him?
Well, I didn't mean to at first. I can't look at you and tell you this, Sam.
You thought Thursby would tackle him. If he got Thursby, then you were rid of him. If Thursby won, he had something on him. Enough to be rid of him for good. Wasn't that it?
Something like that.
Yeah, but when Thursby backed down, you took the gun and did the job yourself.
Oh, Sam, sweetheart, from the very first instant I saw you, I knew.
You angel. Well, if you get a good break, you'll be out of San Quentin in 20 years and you can come back to me then. I hope they don't hang you, precious, by that sweet little neck.
You know deep down in your heart that in spite of anything I've done, I love you.
I don't care who loves who. I'm not going to play the sap for you. I won't walk in on Thursby's, and I don't know how many other footsteps. You killed my partner, and you're going over for it.
Why must you do this to me, Sam? Surely your partner wasn't as much to you as...
Listen to me. This won't do any good. You'll never understand me, but I'll try once and then give it up. Listen, when a man's partner is killed, he's supposed to do something about it. It happens, we're in the detective business. Well, when one of your organizations gets killed, it's bad business to let the killer get away with it. Bad all around. Bad for every detective everywhere.
You can't send me to the... Oh, Sam, you can't. You love me. You love me.
No, well, maybe I do. What of it? Maybe next month I won't. I've been through it before. I've had some rotten nights after I've sent you over. I'll have some rotten nights after I've sent you over, but that'll pass. I want you, sure. But I won't take you at the price because all of me wants to, regardless of the consequences. And because you counted on that with me. The same as you counted on that with all the others.
Oh, Sam, darling, kiss me. Kiss me.
Sure. Sure, babe.
Picks up the phone and slowly dials. Music, darkly, in background.
What are you doing? Who are you calling?
The cops, baby. The cops that come and take you away.
Music and accent to a finish, then out. Studio audience applause.
Just as thrilling. Just as thrilling as tracking down some fabulous treasure is the search for the unknown, which goes on unceasingly in the Squibb Research Laboratories. For that is the search that leads to the discovery of new life-saving drugs and new life-saving uses for existing drugs. And streptomycin is one of the newest products of this searching. In the new field of medicine opened up by penicillin, streptomycin, still in its testing stages, shows great promise against additional enemies of mankind. That is why Squibb scientists are working night and day to unlock the secrets of streptomycin, to improve the strain, to find and test all the ways in which it may be used in the conquest of disease. It is this same questioning spirit, this refusal to stop anywhere short of perfection that inspires all endeavors in the House of Squibb. It is one reason why, whenever you come across it in the service of human health, Squibb is a name you can trust.
Music, theme in and under.
Next Wednesday, another great picture. The House of Squibb will present Academy Award, starring Henry Fonda in Young Mr. Lincoln.
Music, theme continues.
Today's performance of the Maltese Falcon was written for radio by Frank Wilson, with an original musical score composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Our producer-director is Dee Engelbach. Humphrey Bogart is soon to be seen in Warner Brothers' Big Sleep. Mary Astor appeared through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Producers of the Technicolor musical Easy to Wed. Sidney Greenstreet is soon to be seen in Warner Brothers' The Verdict. This is Hugh Brundage, bidding you good night until next Wednesday at the same time, when you're invited to listen again to Academy Award, presented by the House of Squibb, a name you can trust. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Studio audience applause. Music, then out.
Here we go.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, starring Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce.
Oh, I thought you were going to read like you did last time, all the parts. Okay.
Oh, I'm
Music.
sorry.
Nope. Music, signature music, March of the Ancestors fades.
The makers of bromoquinine cold tablets bring you another adventure of Sherlock Holmes, with Basil Rathbone as Sherlock Holmes and Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson. When you are threatened with a cold, remember this: bromoquinine tablets are made expressly for the relief of colds. They are not a cure-all. They are made for one thing and one thing only, and that is the relief of cold. Isn't it better to take a preparation that has only one use rather than one that has half a dozen uses? Ensure yourself with the advantages of specialized medication. When you feel a cold coming on, take bromoquinine tablet. And now, here we are, seated once more in Dr. Watson's study. The good doctor is wandering aimlessly about the room, tidying objects on his desk, straightening a row of books. Well, Dr. Watson, you certainly have a passion for law and order.
A place for everything and everything in its place, I always say. I do hate a mess. Holmes, on the contrary, was one of the untidiest men that ever drove a fellow lodger to desperation. When I find a man who keeps his cigars in the coal scuttle, his tobacco in the end of a Persian slipper, and his unanswered correspondence transfixed by a jackknife in the very center of the wooden mantelpiece, then I begin to give myself virtuous airs.
And of course, that annoyed Sherlock Holmes.
We never even notice it. Let me see. Last time, I think I promised that this week's story would be the Musgrave Ritual.
The Musgrave Ritual. What was that?
Oh, patience, Mr. Manning, patience. Well, as I was saying, Holmes was very untidy. Our chambers were always full of chemicals and criminal relics, but his papers were my greatest trial. Oh, he had a horror of destroying documents. Once a year or so, I would browbeat him into docketing and cataloging them. One winter night, as we sat together by the fire, Holmes playing casual chords on his violin, I ventured to suggest that he might spend his time more profitably by making our sitting room a little more habitable. Habitable. I don't know.
Habitable.
Habitable. I said, Mr. Holmes, I wish you'd stop that caterwauling. Oh, stop that racket. Why don't you do something worthwhile instead of lolling around like that?
Violin stops.
For instance.
Well, you could straighten up this room. It looks like more like a pigsty every day.
Oh, very well.
Footsteps fading.
Now, where are you going?
Door opens and slams.
Oh, look at this place. Papers on the table, papers on the floor, papers on all chairs, the papers.
Door opens. Trunk pulled across the floor and set down with a thud.
What are you doing, Holmes? Pulling that large tin box in here?
House cleaning. The key? Oh, yes.
Box is unlocked.
What have you got in there?
Cases. Records of some of my earlier cases done prematurely before I had such a competent biographer. I think if you knew what I had in this box, you'd ask me to pull some out instead of putting others in.
Oh, it's no use, Holmes. You can't get round me like that. You might just as well begin putting your stuff away.
Here's the record of the Tarleton murders, the case of Varnbury. The adventure of the Russian woman, and the singular affair of the aluminium crutch.
Aluminium crutch?
Yes, a most amazing story. It was one April day. The rain was coming down in torrents.
Oh, I'm not interested.
Well, I suppose I'd best get to work. Here. Now, here really is something a little recherché.
Bah! Oh, it's nothing but a wooden box with a sliding lid.
But look inside, look inside.
Lid slides open.
A crumpled piece of paper with some doggerel written on it, an old-fashioned brass key, a peg of wood with a ball of string attached, and 3 rusty old discs of metal. Not very impressive.
Well, what do you make of it?
What's a strange collection?
And there is a stranger story connected with it.
I suspected these relics had a history.
They are history, my dear Watson. They are history.
What was it about?
These are all I have left to remind me of the Musgrave Ritual. Fascinating case. Fascinating. Hi-ho. Well, I guess I'd better be getting on with my work.
What was the Musgrave Ritual?
You want to interrupt my labors with a silly story, dear, and leave all this litter as it is reprehensible, my dear Watson. Thoroughly reprehensible.
Oh, get on with the story.
Very well. It was one of my first cases when I was making a most precarious living out of my sleuthing. It had to do with Reginald Musgrave, a scion of one of the oldest families in the kingdom. Well, I hadn't seen Reginald Musgrave for several years until one morning I received a note from him. Here it is.
My dear Sherlock, I hear that you are turning to practical ends these powers with which you used to analyze us. Could you spare time to visit us at Hurlstone? I can promise you a problem which will tax even your nimble wits. Hopefully yours, Reggie Musgrave.
You can imagine my eagerness. In my innermost heart, I believed that I could succeed where others had failed.
Conceit.
Don't interrupt, Watson, don't interrupt. Well, late that night, I arrived at Hurlstone, find myself enthusiastically greeted by mine host.
Music, bridge to the next scene.
Well, Holmes, delighted to see you, my dear fellow. It's awfully good to see you come. You've gotten taller and thinner than ever.
You're much the same, I should say, Musgrave.
Alfred, carry Mr. Holmes's bags up to his room.
Yes, sir.
Your butler is new at his job, isn't he?
Yes. But how did you know?
His uniform is rather a bad fit, and his legs are better suited to the stable yard than the drawing room.
Well, as a matter of fact, he's just been promoted to this post. He used to be the head coachman. It's about Brunton, our old butler, that I wanted to see you.
What about him?
He's disappeared.
Brunton's disappeared, eh? Seems to me I've heard you mention his name before.
I dare say you have. He's been in service here for nearly 20 years, although he's barely 40 now.
Rather unusual.
Yes, he was a young school teacher out of a place when he was first taken up by my father. He was a man of great ability, handsome, spoke several languages, and played every musical instrument. A paragon. Brunton had only one fault.
Yes?
He was a bit of a Don Juan. A few months ago, we were in hope that he was about to settle down, for he became engaged to Rachel Howells, our second maid.
Well?
Yeah, well, he has since thrown her over and taken up with the daughter of a head gamekeeper.
And what was this girl, Rachel, like?
Rachel is a very good girl, but of an excitable Welsh temperament. She had a touch of brain fever subsequent to the smash up of her romance. I'm rather worried about the girl.
Yes, but look here, Musgrave, you haven't brought me all the way from London to discuss a servant girl's love affairs.
That was our first drama here at Hurlstone, and quite a tempest in the teapot it was. You know what country houses are like. But a second one came to drive it from our minds, and it was prefaced by the disgrace and dismissal of the butler Brunton.
Dismissal?
1 week last week, Thursday to be exact, I found that I couldn't sleep. You know how it is. Well, at 2 o'clock I rose and lit a candle, intending to get a novel that I had been reading in my library. I put on my dressing gown and started down the stairs. Imagine my surprise when, looking down the corridor, I saw a glimmer of light coming from the library door. My first thought it was burglars. But luckily our corridors are liberally decorated with trophies and old weapons. I seized a battle axe in either hand and tiptoed down the passage to the library door.
Music.
Don't
bridge
move
to the
if
next
you value...
scene.
Yes, don't move if you value your life.
Oh, sir!
Why, God bless me, it's Brunton. What are you doing down here in the middle of the night?
Well, you see, sir,
And my desk has been broken into. And my private papers strewn on the table. What do you mean by going through my private papers? You scoundrel! After the trust we had in you?
Well, sir, I meant no harm.
Oh, the impudence, the rank impudence. Brunton, you will leave my service tomorrow.
Oh, Mr. Musgrave, sir, I can't bear the disgrace. I've always been proud about my station in life.
Oh, yes, and look what it has led you into.
The disgrace will kill me. At least let me give you notice and leave in a month's time, as if of my own free will.
Very well. But a month is too long. Take yourself off in a week and give whatever reasons you wish for going.
Only a week? Oh, no. A fortnight. At least say a fortnight.
A week. And you've been let off very lightly. Now put down the paper you have in your hand and get out.
Music, bridge to the next scene.
And after that little set too, you were too annoyed to sleep, Musgrave?
Well, as a matter of fact, I did spend the rest of the night thinking of things I should have said to the fellow. However, by the morning I had calmed down somewhat.
And Brunton?
For 2 days afterwards, Brunton was most assiduous in his attention to his duties. On the third day he was gone.
Gone? Gone where?
Just take it. That's what I would like to know. His bed had not been slept in, but all our windows and doors were found locked on the inside and no one had let him out.
Did you question this girl, Rachel?
Yes. She's been very ill ever since his disappearance, sometimes hysterical. I had to have a nurse to sit up with her all night.
What was the condition of Brunton's room after the disappearance?
Very orderly. As usual, his clothes, his watch, even his money were in the room, but the black suit he usually wore was missing. His slippers, too, were gone, but not his boots.
Enlightening. Most enlightening. And what was the paper he had in his hand when you surprised him in the library?
It was the Musgrave Ritual.
The Musgrave Ritual? What is that?
Oh, rather an absurd business. It has only its antiquity to excuse it. It's a strange sort of catechism, which each Musgrave must answer when he becomes of age.
Could I see it?
Yes, certainly. It's in the library. Come this way.
Footsteps.
This old hall is rather impressive with all its armor and weapons. Wait, I fancy I heard someone on the stairs. Someone on tiptoe.
I'll run up and have a look.
Steps upstairs, receding.
Be careful, my dear fellow. Be careful.
No, there's no one here.
Strange. I would have sworn I heard footsteps.
Steps downstairs, approaching.
It must have been the old stairs creaking. This is the library, and this is the desk where I keep my private papers.
Not private. I mean, is there anything there that would benefit anyone else?
Oh, good heavens, no.
Nothing that might lead to blackmail?
No, sorry to disappoint you, Holmes. I've lived a very tame and uninteresting life.
I see one of the drawers was broken into. Very amateurish. I'm afraid Brunton had very little experience.
Yes, the lock is completely damaged. I've moved everything from this side of the desk to this side of the desk. Just a minute till I find my keys. Ah, yes.
Drawer opens.
And here it is, the Musgrave Ritual.
Curious old writing. It dates back to Charles I, I should say. You can tell by the spelling.
Probably Charles II. My ancestor Ralph Musgrave was a prominent cavalier and the right-hand man in Charles's wanderings. They went in for rigmarole of that sort in those days. It's just a series of questions and answers, probably the bywords of secret society.
You know the answers by heart, I take it?
Oh, yes. Something every Musgrave has to learn.
Suppose I read off the questions and you give me the answers.
Fire away. You can't trip me up there.
All right, here goes. Whose was it?
His who is gone.
Who shall have it?
He who will come.
Where was the sun?
Over the oak.
Where was the shadow?
Under the elm.
How was it stepped?
North by 10 and by 10. East by 5 and by 5. South by 2 and by 2. West by 1. N by 1, and so on.
What shall we give for it?
All that is ours,
Why should we give it?
for the sake of the trust. As you can see, Holmes, the paper has no practical importance.
On the contrary, it has tremendous practical importance. Your butler seems to have been a very clever fellow. He has had more insight than 10 generations of his master.
I say, Holmes.
The oak, I take it, is the one that stands here, to the east of the house. I noticed it as I drove up.
That's right. You could see it from the window.
Yes, quite a patriarch.
Well, it must have been here when the ritual was drawn up.
It was there at the Norman conquest in all probability. Listen, there is someone in the hall outside eavesdropping. I'm sure of it this time.
Oh, I'll soon find her.
Quick footsteps.
Oh, hello. Why, it's Rachel, my dear girl. Whatever are you doing up and about like this? Where's your nurse?
She's sleeping. I fooled her.
You must go right back to bed.
Yes, I must go right back. He's gone.
Yes, of course.
Brunton's gone. He's gone, I say.
Oh, yes, I know that. And now don't worry, we'll find him for you. Just go back.
You'll never find him. Never. I know where he's gone.
Yes?
He's gone where he belongs.
Where is that?
To hell. He's gone to hell.
No, I say. She's delirious. Help me get her upstairs, will you? We'll have to postpone our talk, I'm afraid.
Yes, there's nothing more to do until tomorrow morning in any case.
What do you mean tomorrow morning?
When the sun is over the oak.
That's what he said. And now he's gone. Gone.
Theme up and play to end.
Denise, that's you.
In just a moment, we will rejoin Sherlock Holmes as he endeavors to solve the mystery of the Musgrave Ritual. A cold, even a so-called slight cold, is something to be concerned about. For any cold, as you very well know, may quickly take a more serious turn. Be serious in your treatment of a cold. At the very first symptom, take a serious and proven preparation. Bromoquinine cold tablets have been on the market for years and their merit fully established. They really go to work on a cold's misery. They relieve the headaches and other pains that go with a cold. They relieve the stuffy and depressed feeling that accompanies a cold. They help reduce the fever that goes with a cold. They give you that multiple action you want. Don't fool around when you feel a cold coming on. Take warning at the first symptom and take bromoquinine tablets. Bromoquinine tablets are sold by all drugstores, a few cents a box. Ask clearly and firmly for bromoquinine tablets.
Music. Theme up and play as bridge to second act.
Good morning, Holmes. I hope you haven't been too bored prowling around the grounds by yourself. Sorry to have kept you waiting for breakfast. Fact is, I'm a bit upset. There's been another disappearance. Rachel alluded at her nurse again last night, and so far she hasn't been found.
So I understand. Your new butler told me. I've traced her footprints to the edge of this lake.
But the lake is over 8 feet deep at this point. Oh, the poor demented girl.
I took the liberty of ordering the drags and grappling hooks at once.
Yes, I see the men working. Have you found...
Nothing. Exactly nothing. Hello, there seems to be some excitement now. The drags have caught on something. Do we have a man?
Yes, you do. I'm sorry. We got her, sir. We got her this time for sure.
Pull hard, boys.
Slosh of water.
That's right. Oh, what a frightful business. Hello, it's not a body.
No, it's a large canvas bag.
Here, boys, give it to me.
Yes, sir.
What's in it?
What's a minute? Just a minute. Don't slosh around. So,
Tinkling sound.
why? It's a lot of old discolored metal and some dull-colored pebbles of glass. And throw it back in.
Stop. Better keep that stuff. Bring it along. And don't let it out of your hands. Now, let's get back to the house.
Breakfast, eh?
No, breakfast will have to be postponed. The sun is now over the oak.
Oh, I say, Holmes, you're not taking that rubbish seriously.
The only thing that puzzles me is the absence of our ancient elm tree.
Well, sorry to disappoint you. There are plenty of elderly beeches, and won't they do?
No, I'm afraid not.
Wait a minute. There used to be an elm, very ancient it was too, over there. You can still see the stump. It was cut down when I was about 15.
That's better. Midway between the house and the oak. Yes, that must have been the one. I suppose it's impossible to find out how tall it was?
Well, not at all. Oh, it was 64 feet.
Excellent. But how in...
that tree was my tutor's favorite exercise in trigonometry.
Now then, the shadow of the oak is fairly obvious. We can see that for ourselves. But the shadow of the elm is a bit more difficult.
Let's say, Holmes, what do you do with that fishing rod?
Fishing rod of 6 feet throws a shadow of, 9 feet exactly. Quite simple. Therefore, a tree of 64 feet will cast a shadow of 96 feet and in the same direction. Where's my tape? Yes, 96 feet. 96. Yes, here we are.
I must say, Holmes, that's very neat.
That's just the beginning. My dear fellow, just the beginning. North 10 and 10, 10 steps by each foot, I think that means.
Oh, that takes you parallel to the well of the old wing of the house.
Marked with a peg. Now 5 to the east. Yes, and 2 to the south.
Oh, I say, it takes you to that old unused door.
The old unused door has been used quite recently. The surrounding ivy is all torn.
Oh, yes, by Jove. It's even unlocked.
How long since this wing has been inhabited?
Not for several generations. It's the oldest part of the house, built in the 16th century, I should say. It's only used nowadays to store things in.
Open the door.
Door creaks.
2 paces to the west obviously means 2 paces down this flagstone passage.
Footsteps on stone.
Well, this must be the place indicated by the ritual.
Stone.
What are you tapping on stones for?
All firmly cemented together. Not even a hollow sound.
I told you it was all balderdash.
Hold on. And so under, and nearly full, that one, is there a cellar under this place?
Well, yes. It's as old as the house.
Lead me to it. That's where our search ends.
Very well, but what are we searching for?
Footsteps on stone.
Careful, steps here. It's pretty dark. Well, that's it. This is the cellar. We store wood down here sometimes. Hello, it's all been moved to the side.
What's this? What's this?
It's Brunton's muffler. What's the villain been doing down here?
Just as I thought. Look here. This piece of wood, it's been used to prop up something heavy. See how both ends are flattened?
Look, the muffler's attached to this iron ring, set in the flagstone.
Quite sizable flagstone, eh? He must have had someone to help him. He couldn't raise that by himself.
You mean Brunton?
Yes, he was after the buried treasure. He probably talked Rachel into assisting him. That's how she happened to be in possession of the bag she threw into the lake.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
I can't budge. Lend a hand, will you, Musgrave?
Righto. There it comes.
Scrape of stone, creak of hinges,
Quick, prop it up with that piece of wood.
thud.
That's it?
By Jove! It's a small room down there. And there on the side, what's that?
That, my dear Musgrave, is what Brunton was after. Come on, let's go down.
Jumping down to stone floor.
A brass-bound wooden box, all covered with dust and worm-eaten. Well, the lids have been thrown back. Oh, look here, Holmes. I thought you expected to find a considerable treasure. All this trunk contains is a few discolored discs of metal. Old coins, apparently. I say, do you think that rascal Brunton has been here and robbed me?
That was his intention, undoubtedly, but I don't think he succeeded.
Why not? The box is empty.
Because I think I see his feet sticking out from behind the box. Here, help me move the box.
Box scrapes
Oh.
on the floor.
It's Brunton, all right. He's dead.
Quite suffocated, I fancy. This cubbyhole isn't very large.
Yeah, yes, but how? How did it happen?
He was murdered on the second night, after you discovered him in the library. I can reconstruct the scene fairly easily from the data we have on hand. Rachel's condition, bag found in the lake, the open door, the muffler, and the piece of wood used as a prop. It is the last which is particularly significant. He had talked Rachel into assisting him, realizing that the girl was still infatuated. They waited until everyone had gone to bed, then stole down here. It was a stormy night, I believe.
Bridge, music to the next scene. Sound of wind.
That's it? Close the door after you.
Door closes, wind out.
Now light the lantern.
Lantern slides open, match is struck, lantern slides shut.
That's better. For the love of heaven, don't look like that, Rachel. Nothing's going to happen to you.
Footsteps on the stone.
I'm afraid. Do you think we ought?
What's the matter with you? If I'd known you had no more spunk in you than this, I'd have asked someone else. I thought you said you loved me.
I do. You know I do. I'd do anything for you.
Well, then come along. Down this stairway. Easy.
But it's stealing.
Stealing? To take something a man doesn't even know he has? He'll never miss it.
But it's his, not ours.
What of it? He hasn't the sense to find it, has he? But I'm the only one who has enough brains for that. Think I want to spend the rest of my life waiting on them that aren't as good as I am? We'll have money. We'll be rich. Why do you think I didn't marry you before? Because I wasn't making enough. Think I'm going to starve myself to keep a wife?
Then you will marry me if we find it?
Here's the ring. Wait, I'll pull my muffler through it.
But you will marry me. You must. I haven't told you before because I didn't want to worry you, but folks are beginning to suspect, and I can't...
Stop blabbing. Stop your blabbing and grab this muffler. Now then pull. Pull harder. Ah,
It's so heavy.
a lot of use you are to a man. Pull harder, I tell you. There she comes.
Week of hinges.
Quick, shove that piece of wood under here. There.
Thud of wood.
Why, there's a trunk down there.
Of course. And I'm going to find out what's in it.
Drops down.
Stop trembling, you fool. You're shaking the lantern.
You will marry me, won't you?
Bah! It's dusty down here. There's even a key in the lock. Up goes the lid.
Lid opening.
Aha! Well. That's something like it.
You will marry me?
Here, put this stuff in the canvas bag I brought along. Careful, you ninny. Don't drop it. Now give me a hand and help me out of here.
You haven't answered me.
Haven't answered what?
You are going to marry me, aren't you?
Marry you? What kind of a fool do you take me for? Marry a girl like you that lets a fellow...
Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
How do you know I'm the only lover you've had? A wench like you.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate the sight of you. I don't ever want to see you again.
Here, what are you doing with that piece of wood? Look out, you fool. You'll pull it out. You'll...
Heavy slam of stone slab.
He wouldn't marry me.
Let me out. Let me out. I can't breathe. Let me out.
He wouldn't marry me. He wouldn't marry me.
Bridge to the next scene.
I say, Holmes, what a cad he must have been.
Quite.
What did Brunton find that he considered so valuable?
The contents of that bag.
This old rubbish. Why, the metal is almost black in these dull-looking stones.
Try robbing one of them. That reddish one, for instance.
Righto. Oh, I say, it develops quite a sparkle.
Quite. I imagine that stuff was left in your ancestors' possession by the royal party on the death of Charles I. I congratulate you on its discovery. It is of great intrinsic value, but of even greater importance as a historical curiosity.
Why? What is it then?
It is nothing less than the ancient crown of the kings of England.
Tickle bridge to the next scene.
That's an exciting discovery, Dr. Watson. How did it happen that Charles II never recovered his crown?
This is the one point Holmes was unable to clear up. It is likely that the Musgraves who held the secret died in the interval, and by some oversight left this guide to his descendants without explaining the meaning of it.
Dr. Watson will be back in just a moment to tell us about next week's adventure. There are all kinds of things being offered for the treatment of colds, but remember this, bromoquinine tablets are made solely for the relief of colds. They don't pretend to do half a dozen things. They claim to do only one thing and do it well, and that's relieve a cold's distress. Furthermore, bromoquinine cold tablets are a proven preparation. They have been a standby of millions for years. Use your head when a cold threatens and take a preparation whose merit has been conclusively proven. Don't fall for fly-by-night preparations or medicines that claim the world. Thousands, yes, millions of men and women endorse your judgment when you take bromoquinine cold tablets. Every drugstore in the land sells those famous tablets at a few cents a box. The minute you feel a cold coming on, make your way to a drugstore and say, bromoquinine cold tablets, please. And now, what story are we to have next week, Dr. Watson?
Suppose I tell you the one Holmes calls The Adventure of the Three Garridebs.
Garridebs? What on earth are Garridebs?
Oh, it's a family name, Mr. Manning, and the story is concerned with a gentleman called Garrideb, who wished to find others of the same name for rather curious reasons.
Signature music up and then lower.
You have been listening to a Sherlock Holmes adventure adapted from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's story, The Musgrave Ritual, with Basil Rathbone as Sherlock Holmes and Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson. The dramatization was by Edith Meiser. This program is presented from Hollywood every week at the same time by the makers of bromoquinine cold tablets, quick relief for colds. This is Knox Manning speaking.
Music up and play to the end.
Studio applause.